What are the 3 top questions I get from new investors? And this has been going on for years and years and years. So I can only imagine these are the questions that you're thinking of if you're a new investor. Well, the first question, number one, is how do I find the deal? That's always been the first one. The second one is, where do I get the money? And the third one is, what do I do with it when I buy it? Or who's going to manage it? What's the process? So those are the top 3 questions, and I kind of want to just go over them a little bit today. I don't want to give you a 30-minute video and breaking everything down because you're not going to remember anything. So I like to keep everything short and quick and give you all the information you need to get you started and to wipe away those fears that you might have. Where do I find the deal? Now, I have made countless videos about how to grow your network, talk to realtors, maybe people in your own contact sphere, and those are a lot more intensive videos and information I've put out there than, contact a bunch of realtors. And what I've seen and what you're going to see many times is contact realtors who are listing this property and ask them if they have any more of those properties. Well, the problem with that strategy is a lot of times there's these one-off realtors, they have the most phenomenal deals ever. And the realtors that get all the deals aren't necessarily the ones that get the best deals. And a lot of those top realtors, they don't want to do creative deals with you. And a creative deal could be owner financing, could be some kind of a lease term you put together. So that's not necessarily the case. Really, the best answer to this is you got to grow your network. You got to grow your network. You got to talk to people, realtors, lenders, whoever else it is, CPAs, attorneys, everyone. You got to grow your network. So that should be the first thing you're doing. Before you go out there and find deals, you really should have more of a network. Where do I find the money? Well, this is so simple sometimes. You've got to talk to people you know first. Contact hard money, contact lenders, all the usual stuff, but talk to people you know first. Let them know what you're doing. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. I'm going to need $50,000, whatever the number is, $100,000. Can I count on you? And we're going to move forward. Don't necessarily go out there and start a syndication of $30 million. Sure, that's going to work, and you hear a lot of people that have done that, and that's fantastic. Here's my little concern for you with doing that and getting into a large syndication. And sure, it can be life-changing, all the positive stuff. You really want to get your handle on what you're doing. It's too much pressure to raise all kinds of money and do a deal, and you can keep it simple and make a lot of money. If that's truly your goal, if that's what you're passionate about, that's one thing. But if you really want to start a business doing this where you have a lot of the control, so you got to remember, the bigger the board is or the syndication or whatever it is, you're losing a lot of that control. Sure, you're the manager, but now you got to worry about all kinds of little details and nuances, and are you following the right rules, or am I going to get sued if one guy doesn't get paid on the 3rd of the month? You don't need that in the beginning. Get your hands around the business. Understand a small deal, get the mechanics and the ratio percentages of everything, and now you can scale that deal to whatever size you want. So that's another thing. So I would really start with your own little contact sphere when it comes to where do I get the money. The third question is, what do I do with the property or when I get it? So let's say you get through steps 1 and 2, and now you've got the property. What do you do with it? Well, this is my number one thing I always say before you do anything. Who's going to manage the property? Because really, management is where it is. And I've said this before, and I'll say this over and over and over and over. Even if you have, $2 million, your question should be who's going to manage it. Because if you buy a restaurant, the concept is the same. You'll always see a sign, it'll say under new management. Well, who's the management team? So if you're buying a project that's already kind of doing its own thing, it's already profitable, it's fantastic, it's at its peak potential, 99, 98% occupancy, that's something totally different. You can keep a lot of the pieces in place. Now, if you're buying a lot of the deals that we talk about where you're looking at a property, you're going to do a value add, you're going to increase rents, decrease expenses, you want to have a manager that's on top of that. Now, is it a property management company that you know? Are you going to do it? That's really what you want to do first. So you got to have an exit strategy, right? If your exit strategy is to sell in 3 years, well, who's going to get you there? If it's you and you've never done it before, you probably want to get some help along the way. So figure out those things first before you bite off more than you can chew. Because one bad deal could really negatively impact you. I mean, you may not want to do this ever again. So it's really important to be small, consistent, and just consistently keep doing what you're going to be doing so you're growing. Hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.